Hello everybody and happy Friday. How has your week been? I astonishingly have actual energy in the evening, which is good because I was hoping to be able to do a Friday reads today. My week has been kind of long and it's been very productive, but also stressful for a couple of things that I wasn't expecting. I'm glad it's over. I'm so glad it's the weekend. I have stuff that I want to do. I'm on fire to read books and to start new knitting projects and just all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So today I'm going to start doing a TBR jar challenge. This is something I've wanted to do for years. I always think it's really interesting when people do these and they pick random things from their TBR and read them. I have always wanted to try doing that, and kind of started it in January when I wasn't really making videos, but it is officially beginning now, today. My hope is that I will do my TBR Jar Picks on the first Friday of every month, and then I might actually have a Friday reads schedule for once. I've never managed to do them consistently. So I'm gonna do my TBR Jar Picks today and then talk about what I'm currently reading and then do a bit of a library haul because I am just on fire to get all the books from the library right now. We'll talk about that in a second. So first up is my TBR Jar Picks. I actually have two jars. I have physical books and a digital books one. And I decided to do both of these because I've done a really good job at tackling my physical TBR over the years, and I've just never concerned myself with dealing with ebooks and audiobooks, but now is the year when I start doing that. So we'll pick from one from each of these basically. So this is an ebook, The Best of All Possible Worlds by Karen Lord. If you've been here for a while, you will know that this book keeps popping up. I keep putting it on readathon TBRs. I keep meaning to read it for years now. I guess I'm reading it in February if I don't want to completely fail at this challenge from the beginning. And then we'll pick from the other jar, which is the physical books. What is this one? Oh, The Spirit Ring. This is, did I haul this already? I can't remember if I did or not. Anyway, it is Lois McMaster Bujold's first fantasy novel that I actually have a physical copy of, so some science fiction and some fantasy for February. I will report back in on whether I actually read them in February. Now on to what I am currently reading. I have started a bunch of books, and I'm about to start a bunch more for reasons that I'll explain in a second. But right now I am actively listening to Leviathan Falls by James S.A. Corey. This is the final Expanse novel. I've had it for a little while. It came out at the end of last year and I'm finally starting it, and I'm super into it. I love this series and I really enjoy it on audiobook. It just really works in that format for me, so I should get through this one pretty quickly, but I haven't had a ton of audiobook time in the past week. I also properly started reading A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk, and it is kind of paused because every time that I've gotten this book from the library, somebody else has had a hold on it and I have to take it back to the library because I can't renew it. So I am waiting to get this from the library again, but I'm almost 20% of the way through it and I'm really into it. I really want to read this book, and I guess so does everybody else in my town. So I'll return to this one soon, hopefully. Then I have some physical books that I've started. I am reading How to Be a Good Creature by Cy Montgomery, and it's illustrated by Rebecca Green. I saw this on Becca's channel, Read Becca. I've meant to read more by Cy Montgomery. I read her little book on hummingbirds last year and just thought she would be a really interesting nature and animal writer to get into, and this is a little memoir basically where Montgomery is talking about animals that she has known and basically what she learned from them. So it's actually very cute. I don't know if it's written for children, but it kind of seems like it is, and I really enjoy the illustrations, so I've been enjoying this and reading it in little chunks here and there. Then kind of something I wasn't expecting to be super into, but I am, and that is The Last Quintista by Donna Barba Higuera. And I got this randomly from the library and then read the first 100 pages in a single sitting one evening, and I haven't done that in a long time. It's been parked this week because I haven't had a lot of reading time, but this is YA or middle grade science fiction, and I find it really interesting because it is basically like a colony ship, an interstellar multi-generational ship story, but from a child's perspective. And the twist in it, I think, is the emphasis on storytelling and like traditional storytelling and the importance of that. And I really like it for what it is, for that kind of different perspective on this very classic SF plot idea, that kind of environment, and then the traditional storytelling. I really enjoy that. There's a lot of Spanish in the text as well, which I like. I can actually understand it. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this and will hopefully finish it over the weekend. And then I've also started Rabbits by Terry Miles. Did not know this book existed, but it is the current pick for my friend's book group, and I was really impressed by the first couple of chapters that I read. It is about a mysterious game that pops up with a new cycle randomly, and maybe people go missing when they try to play the game. I don't know. It's mysterious and kind of like a sci-fi thriller, and I'm really in the mood for that. So hopefully this will live up to the promise of the first couple of chapters that really sucked me in. And then we have all the other books that I have currently checked out from the library. So last weekend I did something that I have not done literally in years. I went to the library to pick up some of my holds, and I said, I have not actually walked around the library. I haven't gone into the stacks and pulled books off of the shelves myself in literally years. I've really gotten to this habit of anything that I want, I find in the online catalog and I put a hold on it so it's waiting for me at the circ desk. And then when I go in to pick up my holds, I breeze on by the new bookshelf, which is right next to the circ desk, and pick up things there. So I don't really know where a lot of the stuff is in the library anymore because they've reorganized over the years. And I was like, why am I doing this? I have a ton of like older books bookmarked in the system. I could just pull up the list on my phone and walk around the library and actually get these things and start reading them and find out if I actually care about reading them or not. So that is what I did. I have never checked out so many books at one time, probably since I was a child. It's pretty rare for me to have more than like 7 or 8 books out from the library at any given time, and I think I have way more than that out right now. So yeah, these are the other ones that I grabbed while I was there. And what I'm doing is like every evening I sit down and I just start reading 2 or 3 of these and determine if I want to continue or not. I actually have already taken some back to the library that I said I didn't care about anymore. So what I have left to start are Big Friendship, How We Keep Each Other Close by Aminatou Sow and Anne Friedman. I know that I know about them because they were mentioned. They mentioned in All the Single Ladies? Possibly. That was another nonfiction book I read years ago. And I've been meaning to try this book for a long time because I'm kind of curious what it has to say about like modern day friendships between adults, and you know, what do these people have to say about that? Apparently their friendship has been something they've talked about a lot. I think they've got a podcast and stuff, so we'll see if I actually like this or not. I've also just kind of been in the mood for more like middle grade and young adult stories, so I picked up a few things that had come across my radar. I have Everything Sad is Untrue by Daniel Nayeri. I got this because it's published by Levine Querido, which is the same publisher as The Last Quintista and Darcy Little Badger's books, and like I've been really impressed by everything I've read from this publisher so far, so hoping this one is just as good as the others that I've read. I also got When You Trap a Tiger by Tay Keller, which is one of the more recent Newbery Medal winners. I was reminded of the Newbery Medal because The Last Quintista is the latest winner, and reading the Newbery Medal winners was the first ever reading a project that I remember doing. I think I did it in my very early teens, but I never kept up with it. So there's like a whole 15, maybe close to 20 years worth of the books that I haven't read yet. So I got this one just to see what it's like. I know nothing about it. And then a couple of newer books. I finally got my hold for Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. I think this is set in the same world as The House in the Cerulean Sea. If not, it's kind of, I think, supposed to be in the same vein as that. And I've been really looking forward to this. I imagine it'll be a fun, nice soothing read, at least that's what I'm hoping. And then a complete opposite of that, I did get Hanya Yanagihara's latest book, To Paradise. I actually have this on audiobook as well, one of the Libro FM arcs, and I'm not entirely sure what format I might like to try it in. So I got the physical book and I have the audiobook, and we'll see. I have only read one book by this author. I read The People in the Trees when it was still new, and I was impressed by that book. It was a really good reading experience and a very thought-provoking story, but I have never been tempted by A Little Life. I think I would hate that book. So I don't know what To Paradise will be like. I'm hoping that it's kind of a big, chunky, speculative fiction novel and not torture porn. We will see. So yeah, I will be starting to read at least the first couple of chapters of all of these books, and I have more holds in at the library that I gotta pick up this weekend. I've also decided to lean into doing more interlibrary loan requests this year. It's something that I tend to do very sporadically, and I want to get into more of a habit of doing that because requesting things from interlibrary loan is one of the best ways I have to prevent myself from impulse purchasing things that my library doesn't have, if that makes any sense. So I've got interlibrary loans on their way to me and more holds to pick up at the library, so there's gonna be a lot of library books in my future. Oh, and one other thing that I forgot to mention is that I will be starting to read Drowned Country by Emily Tesh today. I'm buddy reading this with Libby. Her channel is Libby Stevenson. We buddy read Silver in the Wood in January. I really loved that novella. I like immediately wanted to read the sequel, so we're gonna read that together this weekend, and I've just been really looking forward to it. So. And that, I think, is everything I've been up to, at least in the bookish world. This weekend I should return with some sort of video. I've got a January reading wrap-up I need to do because, wow, I actually read things in January. I'm also massively overdue to do another episode of what I made. I haven't talked about the stuff I've been knitting and spinning and everything for over 3 months. You get a little sneak peek because I have them back here, but yes. It's a chicken. More on this later. But yeah, that is it from me. I hope you guys are having fun this weekend, and I'll be back to talk to you again soon. And until then, bye.